Thanks for tuning in. This is a new podcast that I decided to come up with. It's called WMD, which is short for Watch Movies Dude Podcast. My name's Steven, and my co host name is Tristan. Tristan, say hi.
Yes.
This podcast, we are going to talk about movies. We both like movies, so we decided we should start with the greatest movie ever, which is the first Mortal Kombat from 1995.
He's lying.
No, it's really good. Everybody really liked it.
You lie.
Obviously, Mortal Kombat is based on the very popular game series. I think the movie came out when the third game came out.
It was something like that. I don't know the years specifically, but definitely before 4, because 4 is where stuff got poopy.
Yeah, I think the third game is the one that actually has like a story. It wasn't just like an arcade fighting game, but it's a pretty classic Mortal Kombat story. Earthrealm has lost 9 times, and this is the
It's
10th.
a it's a classic movie. You got the fighting. You've got the tournament. You've got
Shang Tsung
Shang Tsung.
being an absolute god.
You've got sweep kicks. You got those low sweeps.
You've got Art, everybody's favorite character, who we'll
You
get
got
into.
you got light skinned Jax.
Yeah, he's awesome. Jax before he gets his arms blown off.
That's my man.
My man. Well, I guess we should just get right into the plot. Do you want to start?
Well, it's Mortal Kombat. They fight, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so, the plot of Mortal Kombat, it's just. How do you really explain the plot of Mortal Kombat in
It's
general?
fighting. You're fight. We're they're
Okay, yeah, you got like the bad guys fighting. They're from this place called Outworld, and then you got the good guys from Earthrealm. They got to fight in a tournament called Mortal Kombat. If one side wins 10 times in a row, they win.
yes.
Which
Now,
has never really made sense. Like, you have to win 10 times in a row exactly, or you
and
lose.
it's once every 100 years, or once a generation. People can't really decide which one. Uh,
Once a decade.
yeah, once a decade, once a year. Anyway, the opening scene is Liu Kang's brother is fighting Shang Tsung for some reason, and
Chang Kang.
I have
Or
here in my
Chen Kang.
I have here in my notes why is Liu Kang's brother fighting Shang Tsung on top of a temple? Doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that temple's just the one that Liu Kang is from anyways.
Yeah, he like lives there, and Shang Tsung is there for some reason fighting, but he steals Liu Kang's soul, or not Liu Kang. He steals Liu Kang's brother's soul, and then Liu Kang wakes up from a dream, or I guess he dreamed that, but it actually happened, and he gets a Western Union telegram telling him that he needs to come back home. It's never really explained where Liu Kang is living. I
Or
guess.
what he's doing.
Yeah, he's in a very green room,
Yeah.
which is
I re-
cool, I guess.
like the whole room is just saturated in green. It's all green.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
One
They
thing,
never explain why he's in America. He just left
yeah,
his
just because.
ancient Chinese temple. He
Uh,
watched too much American television.
yeah, one thing I will say, which is a plus for this movie, uh, Shang Tsung in this movie, I think, is an actual like legit villain that you want to root against. He's not. He is kind of comically evil, but it's Mortal Kombat. You kind of have to have a comically evil villain, but I think he fits the bill really good, and obviously that guy voice acts for Liu Kang for not Liu Kang for Shang Tsung for what all
I
the other
think,
games.
honestly, I think that's like the best representation of Shang Tsung, period.
Oh yeah, there is a Shang Tsung in the remake movie, which hopefully we'll be covering soon. But that Shang Tsung sucks.
He just looks so wrong. Looks like a live
Disney,
action
yeah,
yes.
Disney villain.
He literally looks like one of the bad guys in the live action Mulan. I don't know
Yeah,
which one, but
who knows?
look it
Anyway,
up.
uh, so what the next scene is with Sonya Blade and Jax are in a bar, or they're in like a club, and
They're in like a rave.
they're looking for Kano, who's another pretty good villain from the
Pretty classic
yeah
Aussie uh national
national
celebrity
hero.
hero. Yeah.
Yeah, um, but he's in there with Shang Tsung, hiding, just hanging out. They're vibing. But in my notes here, I have Jax is in this scene, but this is like one of only two scenes that he's in, and he only has probably 7 minutes of screen time, and then he
I wouldn't
disappears,
even say 7.
and he's never brought up or talked about again in the entire movie.
Yeah. So the basic like plot of this is that Shang Tsung, he's from Outworld. He's the bad guys. And the next tournament is about to start. And I don't really know why he needs Kano, honestly. Like,
I think Kano was like a catalyst to like make to lure Sonya
Sonya
Blade,
follow.
yeah, to lure Sonya to the island basically, because otherwise she wouldn't really have a
Yeah,
reason to
so
go.
so Shang Tsung's kind of impromptu gathering a bunch of fighters from Earthrealm, and Kano's one of them, and I guess he lures Sonya that way. But yeah, they're just in a rave area, and you got Sonya Blade, another classic with a K character,
A good female protagonist,
who's like
strong
one of the
female.
most boring characters in this movie.
Yeah,
Besides Katana, I think. I think Katana might actually be worse, but you know. But they're storming Kano's crack party.
yeah, the trapped in.
And there's no like setup to it at all. They're just there, you know. And Sonya charges through this big rave in the they don't even explain where it's at. It's just in a underground rave scene, I guess. She charges through this crowd, and then she just shoots a guy point blank. Not point blank. She shoots him with a shotgun,
Yeah,
and like
I do have in here.
nobody reacts to it.
Yeah, I do have in here. Sonya Blade shoots through a crowd of people with a shotgun to take down one guy, which I think is
Kano's one bouncer that was just taking a piss.
yeah,
I
which I think
guess.
is pretty funny. And then she intimidates him or interrogates him, and he just doesn't say anything. He's like, "Oh God, oh,
You shot me in the chest with a shotty.
I'm gonna die."
And then they just. Well, I guess he lived because I mean they found out where the Kano was about to leave.
And then what is it? It hard cut right to Johnny Cage, right?
Johnny Cage in a studio. Johnny Cage, best character.
Johnny Cage.
Old washed up movie star.
I do like Johnny Cage in this movie. He is
I'd say this is one of the better representations of him too.
well, considering he's not in the next one for very long, and he's not in the new one at all.
I don't even mean live action. I think
Oh, you just mean in general.
I think this like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 and Mortal Kombat 9 are the best Johnny Cages.
That's a bold statement.
I think it's true.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've always been a fan of the old Cagester. Ninja Mime.
Ninja Mime, of course, classic. Maybe we'll cover that.
But I know
Citizen Cage, another classic.
in that scene in the movie, he's what movie is he like shooting?
I don't think they say.
Okay, they don't.
Avatar.
Yeah, it's an unknown movie. It's it's
there.
Avatar 2 because Steven Spielberg's in it, and then he approaches an older-looking gentleman who's reading a newspaper that says that Johnny Cage is a fake, and it turns out to be
Not Chris Christopherson.
Not Chris Christopherson. It's Johnny Cage's old master.
Master Boyd.
Yeah, Master Boyd.
His sensei.
Yeah.
Master Boyd.
And Master Boyd hands him a scroll that
He just shows up sitting in his cage like Johnny. He's literally reading a magazine that like the headline is Johnny Cage fake.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's reading like one of those magazines you get off of the checkout line at Dollar General. It
And he's
talks
just
about like
like,
the Fiend
Johnny,
dying.
you're the greatest martial artist in the world, but the press isn't gonna believe it.
Yeah.
There's only one way you can prove it. He just hands out this scroll written in, I guess, Chinese.
Chinese or Japanese, we can't be sure. But Johnny Cage can't read that scroll, but he tells him where to go. He tells him to go to Hong Kong. It's Pier 40, and there's going to be a ship, and it's going to take him to an island to fight in the championship. And Johnny
It's
Cage
actually Shang Tsung. Spoiler alert.
but I was getting into that. It cuts away, Johnny's gone, and then Master Boyd gets up and he morphs into Shang Tsung, and everybody's like, "Whoa, that's crazy." Not really. It's not very
Nobody
convincing.
even sees him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The CGI in
I
this
get
movie's
yeah.
not good.
It
But
has
like
its
that,
moments.
out of all of the effects, I'd say that's one of the not as bad ones.
You can tell they really blew their budget early on stuff like that. We're gonna have Shang Tsung. We're gonna have Master Boy transform into Shang Tsung, and they're like, "All right."
And the budget's gone.
Yeah, it's like this is gonna cost $4 million because it's 1995, and doing that would have taken a year to render. But then we cut to Hong Kong. All the heroes are arriving at the same time. Sonya Blade and Jax are spying on.
No, you're mistaken. You're skipping ahead there, buddy.
What'd I miss?
Kang goes to the temple and meets.
Oh wow, I did miss a big part of the movie. Yeah, Liu Kang goes back home to talk to the.
After he receives his facts.
Yeah, he goes back to the air temple from The Last Airbender.
Hold on. Now that I think about it, who sent that fax in the first place?
I guess the Shaolin monks.
Like the Shaolin monks. How'd they know where he was living?
They went to the post office and said,
I guess
I need to send a telegram.
I guess there could only be one Liu Kang living in
America City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Green Room.
Yeah. But yeah, they go and talk. Liu Kang and the Shaolin monks talk, and Liu Kang's obviously upset that his brother was killed, and he wants revenge, and they're telling him that's not why he should be fighting in the championship. He should be fighting for Earthrealm, because if they lose, they're all going to die, basically.
I guess when his brother dies at the beginning of the movie, like he actually has died very recently, because I don't know, it's just like you're never really giving a time frame for when all of that happens.
Yeah, the timeline is pretty inconsistent, I think.
And also, he's like, Liu Kang is saying how he wants to kill whoever killed his brother. But then he also thinks that the tournament's kind of nonsense, because he even says, like, because I think it's his grandpa.
Yeah, he doesn't believe, like, anything that the Shaolin monks
First you had to
teach.
try and fill that tournament nonsense in my head. Now you gotta go get my brother Chang Chung.
Yeah, Jackie Chang.
Wang Chung. You gotta tell him about this nonsense you got killed, and he's like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, yes, you're right.
And then we have to talk about the intro of the best character in the movie.
Of course. Mr. 5 packs of Newports a day.
Yes, the amazing
famed French actor
Christopher Lambert. He is an absolute treasure. He shows up.
Honestly, how do you feel about his Raven?
He's definitely the best live action Raiden. I'll give him that one.
Okay.
I don't know if he was hired on like a false pretense or something and like didn't really know what his role was supposed to be, because he's not taking it very seriously. You can tell.
I read this somewhere a while ago. I don't know if it's actually true, but apparently he was an actual fan of the games. So that's why he signed up. I don't really know why he would be your first choice, though, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have had some other people.
Highlander was probably out at this point, I think, but I don't know. Was that
Highlander? Because Highlander came out like almost 10 years before this movie.
Oh,
If for people that don't know, Christopher Lambert plays Connor McLeod in
it's Connor
Highlander.
McLeod.
Oh,
He's
excuse me.
Scottish.
That's a good movie.
Anyways.
Hopefully maybe we'll do an episode on that one day.
Yeah. Shut up. You don't even like
Whoa.
that movie.
Whoa. Oh.
Oh, Marone. Anyways. Sorry, guys. Sorry, listeners. We get a little feisty sometimes.
Back to Mortal Kombat.
Let's get this over before we beat each other up.
Yeah,
Anymore.
honestly.
Anyways, I actually really like Lambert as Raiden. Like he doesn't do anything really.
No, he just shows up and like laughs and shoots lightning sometimes
He
and
does
then
he does the
leaves.
Steven Seagal flip
Yeah,
to Liu Kang, and then he shoots lightning one other time,
and
and that's all he really does.
yeah. But then
Like
after that scene, when Raiden is the one that convinces him to join the tournament finally, right?
I mean, yeah, but not really. He's just like
After
he kind of goads Liu Kang into doing it.
yeah, because he like reveals who he is because Liu Kang's like, that's just a common beggar.
Like
I'm Raiden.
yeah. How many Newports did he actually smoke at this point? I wonder.
Probably a lot.
He's like, I'm Raiden.
And cigarettes in the 90s were probably pretty gnarly too, so
Yeah,
basically smoke.
Newports hit different back
Yeah.
then.
We can confirm that he smokes Newports, so
Yeah.
okay.
He told.
Yeah, and then after that scene, then it transitions to them getting on the
Hong
ship,
Kong.
right? Okay, yeah. But
There's a ton of people there too, and you're told like Raiden says that they're all Earthrealm fighters.
yeah,
but
there's a
you never
lot.
see them fight.
Yeah, they're all like unnamed except for Art.
Of course, Art Lean, played by not Dave Chappelle,
Yeah, I think Art is supposed to be
not Jax.
I guess he's a Jax like composite because he's not Jax. He's just he's just a black guy that came to fight. He's a Johnny Cage fan though.
Yeah, and he's just a boxer, I think.
Yeah, just some random guy. He's like, I love you, I'm Ninja Mime, man.
It's like, yeah. Oh, and of course Johnny Cage has to be walking up at the dock, and he sees Art Lean reading that same magazine.
The
Master Voyage was reading.
Yeah, the same prop. And then I think after that, is that when Johnny Cage just becomes racist and thinks that Liu Kang is
That's why he's the best.
He thinks Liu Kang is like a dock worker.
Yeah, Liu Kang, he's mostly like pretty, maybe not bland, but like generically hero in this movie, but he's got good moments.
I like Liu Kang,
mostly in the beginning.
Especially in this scene when Johnny Cage tries to pay him to like take his bags, and Liu Kang just takes one of his bags and dumps it in the ocean. And then Johnny Cage has a classic quip.
He's like, "Oh, glad I didn't give him the car."
Yeah, delivered perfectly.
Yeah, he says it just like that too.
But also
Lyndon Ashby is terrific.
Also, Sonya and Jax are there spying, looking for Kano, and then Shang Tsung's ship shows up. Do you have anything to say about Shang Tsung's pirate ship that he's on?
It's very conspicuous.
Yeah, it's he's not really rolling in stealth.
No, it's like
fog comes out of like the bay and everything.
Full mast,
yeah,
got a dragon mast, full sails.
Yeah, totally like old school, like Chinese, like junk ship look from like the
Chinese
1600s.
But it's still like weirdly.
It's definitely in character for Shang Tsung.
Like industrial at the same time.
Yeah,
it's like the metal on the interior at least.
Yeah, it's a very oddly constructed boat. Sorry, ship. Excuse me.
Also, Kano, like all the main characters at this point are there. They're all making way.
Yeah, but and then they're on the ship, and I do have a note about the actual set of the ship that they're on. I
So
just
bad.
I just think it looks awful. It looks like they way overdid it with the fog machine. It looks like it's broken.
I know the exact way they did it. They just took like the top half of the ship, the poop deck, I suppose. They put that in a studio set, and then they just put it against a black background, and then just turned the fog up, and that was it.
So turn the fog up to max and action. We're going.
Because there's no, you don't see any water. The camera never lets you see down that far because there's just nothing there. There's no movement at all from the ship. It's just completely still.
Yeah. And then it transitions to where they're below deck. Oh wait, they talk to Raiden too, and Raiden tells them kind of what's going on.
Yeah, we get introduced to the classic with a K ninjas, Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, who are working together for some unknown reason.
Yeah, they don't like the only explanation they have is that Shang Tsung says that they're under his control.
Yeah, they're slaves to his control, which
like Scorpion I can understand, but like how did Sub-Zero get there?
I don't know how that
Mortal
happened.
enemies,
But
best of friends.
what do you think about the ninja costumes in this movie?
They're very plain, but I mean I like them because the original costumes in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 were plain anyways.
Right, yeah, it is pretty. They're pretty
like it's cheapo to the max.
Yeah, at least the ninja costumes are consistent to how they look in the game.
One thing I don't really like, I kind of like in the original games, like it's just they're all just like palette swaps. So
yeah, right.
They're just the exact same except for colors.
Yeah.
So they all in the game they all have the black hood and like the respective color.
Yeah, because it was all mocapped off one guy.
Yeah, like Scorpion's, he's got the yellow face mask. Sub-Zero's got the blue one. But in this movie, for all the ninjas, they've got like unique metal masks.
Yeah, they are all different.
Some of them look a little better than others. I honestly can't really remember Sub-Zero's. Reptile, spoiler alert, Reptile's in this. Reptile's is kind of cool with the mouth, but that's kind of weird. The biggest thing I have against it is that they don't have gloves.
Yeah, none of them have gloves.
It's just kind of weird.
They're all barehanded.
Like they have these wrist guards but no gloves.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
In the games they didn't have gloves, but they had hand guards too that were attached to the wrist guards, but honestly that's really the only thing I have against it besides maybe the colors are a little dull.
Yeah. And then
plain and simple.
Yeah, and then after the scene on the ship, then it transitions to their to Shang Tsung's island that they're arriving at, and that's a pretty good set piece. I don't know what island they used to record Shang Tsung's island on, but it's convincing. It's an island,
Aruba.
Probably. Kind of reminds me of the Far Cry 3 islands, but that's just me.
Yeah. There is that one beach that looks exactly like. Yes.
Yeah, and then there's a nice comic relief scene with Johnny Cage where he's trying to get all of his Louis Vuitton bags out of the little rowboat.
Yeah, is Louis Gucci.
Yeah.
And then he just falls straight.
And then he falls.
That's why Johnny Cage is my favorite.
Yeah, and he face plants right into the water, and I don't know. I think that's a dummy doing that, but that's just me. I don't think it's an actual person that fell in the water.
Lyndon Ashby would really do that.
He's a method actor.
Yes, would really face plant directly into knee-high water.
I do my own stunts, just like my movie character.
Oh, it's just like you're so right. That's why they made him. That's why they made him Johnny Cage, because he would go that extra mile and do his own stunts.
Very true. Very true. But then it cuts to another set, which is in like a hollowed out cave sort of looking thing, and that set looks really good. That set looks really good, which is weird because the sets are really inconsistent in terms of like how the quality goes.
How fake they look.
Some look pretty pretty good, and then other ones are just so bad you're like, what is going on? Where are we?
It's a very strange island, I'll give it that.
Yeah, it's
You
very
you
odd.
just you just flip-flop between so many different locations that like you never really understand where you're at in the island.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, we're in a cave system. Now we're in a
Yeah,
blue cave. Now
now
we're
we're
in a
in
dining
hell.
area. Now we're in hell. Now we're in a forest. Now we're on a Far Cry 3 beach.
Yeah, it's
Now we're in a
the
portal.
pacing is so yeah, the pacing and like transitions are so weird.
I mean, it's fairly brisk. I don't think you can really get confused by it,
Like you're
but
not gonna be confused, but it's just like
just a brisk little fun action Mortal Kombat.
yeah. But and then oh, also in the cave scene, we get introduced to Reptile, but I don't think he's named yet, and he's like a weird little CGI creature thing that looks
And
really
he's not a human.
bad. And also we're introduced to Katana, who doesn't wear any blue on her outfit at
Yeah,
all.
Katana's the princess of. I think the way it goes is like Outworld has a lot of different like other realms inside of it,
Yeah,
and
because it could.
Katana's from this place called Edenia,
Yeah, because
which has
Shao
already
Kahn
been taken over.
conquered all the other ones.
So Katana's the princess of Edenia. The game she wears blue, in this black.
Yeah,
And she
is
looks bored in every scene.
Rain is also from Medenia, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, but he's not in this movie.
No.
He's in the next one though, which is
Yeah. Which is awesome.
something else. We'll get to that one. Its time will come. But then after that, isn't it? It's the feast scene next, where they're all like eating together and
Yeah.
meet and greet sort of
You
deal.
see how many people are there? There's like 30.
Yeah, it's a
Not
ton.
counting the guards, not counting the guards with red socks on their head.
Yeah,
There's like at least 30 Earthrealm fighters.
yeah.
Like, did Shang Tsung or Raiden really get all of these guys?
I guess so. And then Shang Tsung arrives, and I just want to point out Shang Tsung's drip in this movie, even though he wears the same outfit the whole movie, is perfect. Shang
It's
Tsung is
weird though because like even though this is probably no, this is the best version of Shang Tsung ever. Like he doesn't really look like outfit wise. Some of the outfits are kind of weird. Like appearance wise, he doesn't really look like Shang Tsung because in the games, Shang Tsung's a Chinese like wizard
yeah.
sorcerer.
In this movie, he looks sort of like
He's
a
always got like the stereotypical like uh ancient Chinese wizard robes.
right. Yeah, that sort of thing. In this movie, he kind of looks like almost like an underground like mob boss
He's got
sort
a
of
leather
look.
coat with the
Yeah,
dragon embroidered on the back.
yeah. He looks
And
awesome, but
he's got just a shirt vest.
yeah,
No
just a
shirt
vest, no
underneath.
shirt.
Yeah, Sony is also just wearing like a all black
Yeah, turtleneck.
turtleneck and like skinny jeans and
Yeah,
boots.
which is something else.
Johnny Cage, he's just shirt, pants.
Yeah, shirt, pants. What else do you need from old Johnny? And then
chest.
the henchmen or whatever you want to call them that are in the movie that are Shang Tsung's little people that
They're so bad looking.
the red sock head people.
They've got like full like kilts,
Yeah, they're wearing like a full like
black leather boots.
yeah ankle length dresses, but nothing on top. They're not
And
wearing
then
shirts.
they're using red socks like masks.
Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, they're maybe the least intimidating henchmen I've ever seen in maybe any movie, but that's
The
just
ones
me.
in Mortal Kombat 1, like they're the ones they've got like a star-shaped metal mask almost, and it's split down the middle. You've got one side which is black, one side is gray or
Yeah.
white. And those guys never do they do nothing in
Yeah,
the game.
they don't do shit.
But they look so much better. But these guys, they're just they really are just goons.
Yeah, Goon Squad.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you couldn't really do like 50 plus metal masks for every
Yeah.
guard.
And also, there's just one black guy in the gang
Just
that's
one.
just
You see
hanging
him in
out.
every scene,
Yeah,
and
which
it's
is
just the
pretty
same
good.
guy.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Uh, and then I know it
They
transitions
do their
into
little.
they do their thing. Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that.
Sub-Zero he just straight up murderizes a
Yeah,
guy.
he kills a
It
guy
was
in front of
literally like
everybody.
Indiana Jones where he shot the guy with the sword.
Yeah, that was a good scene. And then when do they get to Goro? That's a little while later, isn't it?
I think it's right after this. So they after that presentation, uh, Liu Kang sees Katana, and they're all like, "Oh, we gotta follow her for for some
Reasons.
reason." And then they sneak around in the island and they cross this dining hall area where Kano's just chilling, eating the biggest and most disgusting looking
Stone cold
stone
turkey
cold
leg.
turkey. It looks so rubbery. It almost looks fake.
Yeah.
Like it really does.
Could have
Just
been a
like
prop.
every time you take a bite off of it, it just looks like rubber.
Yeah, it's not a good look. But
Like what do they eat in Outworld? Because you see on the table, you've got like a sponge cake, the worst looking sponge cake there. You got a turkey. You've got like a full chicken.
yeah,
Doesn't
maybe that's why Outworld wants to conquer Earthrealm because their food sucks
better
so
food
bad.
because at the end of the table there's just a whole goblet full of eggs.
Yeah, which is a good, yeah, that's
Not
awesome.
scrambled eggs or like deviled eggs, just whole
I
eggs.
think Kano asked for that. That's got to be some sort of Australian like classic dish.
Classic Australian
Yeah,
delicacy:
a
roasted dingo,
chalice full of eggs.
fried roux, and eggs.
Yeah, but
And then this is where we come across
yeah,
Goro.
and then we're introduced to Goro. What do you think of Goro?
So
Prince Goro,
Yeah,
sorry,
Prince
excuse me.
Goro of the Shokan race, as we all know, he's royalty. He's supposed to be just like this big four-armed dude, And in the movie, they make him out as it's really impressive looking in parts because he's a giant animatronic,
Yeah, the whole
and they
thing is an
needed like a
animatronic.
dozen. They needed like a dozen people, like at all times,
Yeah,
just to work him.
because when I first saw the movie, I thought it was
Like a
some sort
suit.
of
The bottom half was a
yeah, like the
suit.
bottom half was a suit and the top half they CGI'd, but no, it's an entire animatronic. I can't.
When he's sitting still, it looks really good.
Yeah, when he's not moving, when he just seems like a static piece.
Even when he is moving, it's not. It's still pretty good, but the mouth, like the lip syncing for it, is just not there at
Yeah,
all.
it just really starts to fall apart when they
They
actually
cut
have.
away so you mentioned it when we were watching it. They cut away so often from the mouth
Yeah, to try to
because
hide it because it's not in sync at all.
I was like, oh yeah, I mean, okay, but then right after you said it, they cut like three more times. Said, yeah, all right, I think I see what you're getting.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I can't imagine the price that they for the Goro animatronic, and I want to know if it's still out there. So if anybody knows if the Goro animatronic is still around and
Well, no, because
purchasable,
they threw him off a cliff. Remember?
oh, you're right, it's gone. Yeah, damn,
Yeah,
he's in like NetherRealm.
I think besides the animatronic, or like the Shaolin monastery that they filmed at, which I think is really in China, and the animatronic, I think that took up at least half the budget.
It was yeah. I'm not entirely certain what the budget for this movie is.
It was 122 million.
122 million. That's a lot.
It's crazy when you think about it.
That's about how much like a Star Wars movie used to cost to make. Like one of the prequel movies, I'm pretty sure was about that much.
Yeah, the quality's very indicative, right?
Yeah.
CGI is perfect.
Yeah, obviously for this movie, it goes without saying, but the CGI in this movie doesn't hold up very well most of the time.
No,
When it's
but
supposed to be large scale sort of CG stuff, it doesn't work.
I don't really know about the production of this, but I wonder if it was pushed or like
Like rushed, it probably.
I don't know because 122 million is a lot of money in 1995 for the first Mortal Kombat movie.
My guess is that it probably started to spin out of control, and they just had to they had to get it
I
done
think
and
it was something like that because
get it
this was
out.
director Paul W.S. Anderson's. This was his debut.
Yes, this was his first
What a
movie.
debut, honestly.
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 Oh, I do have in here. Why doesn't Katana wear any blue clothing? Not even like
She never,
a
not even in
shirt.
the second movie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
She wears either black or brown
Yeah.
when she's wearing that robe later. That's it. I don't know why that was the. Like, they obviously took some liberties because Sonya Blade is wearing like green spandex, green, black, and white spandex in the game. Here it's just all black, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know. Was putting like blue on Katana really that
yeah. Sonya's kind of makes sense because she's
much?
supposed to be she's special forces and stuff like that, and got to be like kind of tactical. But they don't even give Liu Kang like a headband. Come on, like a bandana.
No, he just wears a shirt
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's like, man.
You know how Liu Kang does.
Yeah.
Anyways, but they're Kano and Goro are they're chatting up, and then Shang Tsung comes in, and the trio are discovered, and uh, so they're trying to find their way out, and then they're following Katana again, and Liu Kang accidentally stumbles across Reptile. Liu Kang's a champ. He takes that acid right in his eyes
Right
and
in the
literally
face.
shrugs it off
Yeah, he just
a
wipes
minute
his
later.
eyes and he's ready to go.
Johnny's right around the corner. He's like, "Hey, what happened, man?" He looks like Liu Kang looks like he's bawling his eyes out. He's like,
I'm good,
I,
bro.
I think that creature's following Princess Katana." And then he's just fine. Like next cutaway. And then they loop back around into the dining area, and you get the first real fight scene of the entire movie. What do you think about it? What do
Okay,
you think about the
so
fights in this movie?
surprisingly, what I think of the fight is the fight between them and the sock wearing henchman. I think it's a pretty good fight, honestly,
I
especially
think
for
most of the fights are okay in
yeah,
this.
especially for this time period of like action movies like this in the '90s that a lot of them look really bad. I think this one looks is pretty good choreography for the period, and as far as holding up for today, I don't know if I'd go that far, but it still looks pretty good.
Well, so Robin Shu, who was the actor for Liu Kang, him and Lyndon Ashby, who's Johnny Cage, they were actually uh they were actually martial artists, and Robin Shu, I think, was the choreographer for this.
Yeah, he was, and that
So
obviously played a big part in why the fights actually look kind of believable.
yeah, I mean, the editing helps because it's like it's the
It's
stereotypical
the obvious cut after like everything
cutaway after a
cut
punch,
away.
but
Yeah,
it's not as bad in this because the fighting's actually kind of believable. And I mean, I think Bridget Wilson, who was Sonya, I don't think she was a martial artist, but to have two out of the three uh, main cast, I think it pays off. They're actually doing moves, even if they look a bit uh, bland,
yeah. But no, I think
deflated.
I do like that fight. And then after that is when Shang Tsung shows up with like a whole bunch more of sock wearing henchmen, and then Raiden swoops in and is like, "You can't do that. You're messing with the competitors. You're not allowed to do that." And
The rules are so flimsy in this.
yeah, they don't. And Raiden's also not really supposed to get involved, which he does a lot.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he is though, because
It's never well, I guess that part in the movie isn't really explained that he's like,
like obviously he doesn't fight
yeah,
because I don't know, he's Raiden, and Christopher Lambert was probably
didn't that wasn't in
mid
his
40s to
contract.
50s, yeah.
Yeah.
But like in the 2021 movie, he can't fight because he's he's kind of like the ref for the other side for
Right.
Earthrealm. But in this, he's just like, I don't think so. I can't fight. Where's my smokes?
Yeah.
But
But he helps them get he helps them get out of that sticky situation, and then they take off.
yeah, and then I think this is where the tournament actually starts because right after this is the fight with not Cyrax, right?
Yeah,
Luke stabs.
yeah, the black guy with dreads.
See, like that fight's. I think that fight's actually a little better than the dinner room fight because it's just Robin Shu, and I guess the other guy is also a martial artist, and there's a lot more energy in this. It's not as it doesn't feel as choreographed because you've got like at least 12 guys in the dinner room,
Yeah,
and here it's just two
that
guys.
fight is pretty good for a one-on-one. Yeah, I would go with that. And then I have here that the next after not Cyrax loses and gets his soul sucked out of him. After that is the Sonya and Kano fight.
That is the worst fight in the movie, I think.
Really,
Besides maybe,
the Goro fight.
well, okay, the Goro fight is the worst, but this is a pretty close second. This and the
Okay.
Sub-Zero fight, but Kano finally shows back up.
Yeah, the fight we've all been
By,
waiting
by the
for.
way, before I forget to mention this, so Kano is recognized for his trademark, like metal eye with a red laser in the middle, and I really wish I knew how they did it because like it almost looks CGI,
Right. Yeah, but
but it can't be
it has to be like like makeup.
because like the CGI from this from like the 90s, and you can even see it earlier in the movie with Reptile. He's it's all got like that like fake looking
Fake
obviously, but it's
shine to it.
yeah, like that sheen to it. And his eye almost has that, but like it you can actually see the reflectiveness in it. So I don't know how they did that. I guess it was just
I think the way that they did it is
cosmetics.
the piece of his eye is a prop, and it
I don't
probably
know how they held it up.
took a long time to form like the latex or whatever they used to make it like match with his face.
It's probably why the fight was so short.
I'm sure he was on the in the makeup room for a really long time to get that look right, but it does look good.
It's kind of got like that uncanny value look to it, I guess. But
A little bit. If you look at it a little too close, then yeah, that could.
yeah, arguably second worst fight in the movie because
Yeah,
Kano's supposed to shoot lasers out of that eye,
which he
and
doesn't,
really nobody uses their signature moves in this. Like
except
I
for
guess Sonya
one,
used, of course.
which we'll get to.
Like I guess Sonya uses. I guess her leg grab was a thing, but
Yeah,
she just like she gets kicked in the womb first off. Very visceral
yeah.
reaction.
There goes Cassie Cage.
And then after that she just snaps Kano's neck and it's done.
Yeah, and then Kano's dead. And Kano doesn't get his soul sucked, which I think is weird.
It's a shame.
Yeah, but what's the
Then
next?
after that,
It's the
it's
Johnny and
Scorpion.
Scorpion fight. Yeah,
This I think is maybe the best fight in the movie.
it is pretty good, but it is pretty confusing.
It's strange. It's very disconnect. It feels so disconnected because I think this was a reshoot.
It had to have been because it looks like they're like in the middle of
A park.
yeah, like a park with a lot of trees. And speaking of that, if you look closely in one of the frames, a car drives by, which is pretty good. That's a good look.
Like I'm pretty sure it was a reshoot, but like what was it like beforehand? Like, was there just no fight with Johnny Cage
Yeah,
and
did
Scorpion?
they forget and then they were like, "Oh shit, we have to put a Johnny Cage Scorpion fight in it."
But I really think this and the reptile fight are the best fights in the
Yeah,
movie.
they are. It is pretty good if you can get past like the set
The
pieces and just the weirdness of it. And then they do
Yeah,
go to the Nether Realm and fight,
yeah.
which the Nether Realm is just a series of like bamboo catwalks and like
It's
ladders and
supposed to
stuff.
be hell,
Yeah.
but it's just I kind of like the idea of it. I don't think it's supposed to necessarily be just the Nether Realm, but I think it looks like objectively it probably looks pretty bad, but I think this is one of the better looking
It is
sets.
a good looking set. It's just a very odd choice of
Like
like
there,
how to make it look, I think.
yeah, there's a lot of energy behind the fights in this too because like Scorpion's throwing like bashing Johnny's face into the bamboo and kicking him in the gut while he's down, and they're swinging around on the bridges and such, but
Yeah. And then
it's also the most brutal fight in the movie because Scorpion gets his head cut in
yeah, he gets
half.
like blown up. But I do have in there I have Scorpion goes down like a total bitch in that fight.
If they just kept it,
Like obviously you have to end it. It can't just go on
yeah, like
forever, but
if they just kept that like because the part where he reveals his skull face and he starts shooting flames out of his mouth.
looks pretty
If
bad.
I'm maybe I got a soft spot for it. I don't think it looks horrible.
That's fair.
It is funny though, for a split second where he takes his mask off, you can see where the brow bones make a like they glare
Yeah. It is pretty good.
somehow. The morphing scene is where it goes from just face to the skull. I guess it was the best they could have done, but if they just kept that scene going on for maybe 30 seconds longer, shot some more flames, it would have looked better, but I think overall it was pretty good. And Johnny drops his signed photograph after Scorpion explodes.
To his biggest fan.
It's weird too because it doesn't even show him writing it or dropping it. Like
It just
Scorpion just
falls.
explodes and it just falls and it starts
Yeah.
burning. How'd he get out of there though? If I were fighting Scorpion, I'd be worried I'd be stuck in there.
Yeah, because Scorpion's dead. Like, did Shang Tsung open a portal for him to come back, or what's good? I
It's
don't.
just like, well, I guess I gotta bring him back. Dang.
Yeah, shoot. And then the next fight is Goro and Art.
Yeah, Art reappears after maybe 30 minutes in the movie and just gets killed.
Yeah, and this fight is totally pointless. Just goes nowhere, and Art dies. And then well, he does get his soul sucked. He gets sucked into Shang Tsung's eye, which is that is a cool piece of CG. I did like that.
The Goro animatronic still looks goofy.
Yeah,
It looks like it's about to fall over
yeah.
at
That
any
really
second.
shows
So top
the
heavy.
flaw with the Goro animatronic. It's not great.
Also, this movie, Mortal Kombat's known for its gore. This movie is almost entirely bloodless.
Except for the fight with Scorpion, because I think this isn't a rated R movie, right?
No, it's like PG.
Yeah, 13 probably to.
The worst things that happen is Scorpion gets his head cut in half, but it's okay. It's a skull, and he's
Yeah,
got lava blood, I guess.
yeah, which
And
who knows with that.
Shang Tsung gets impaled on his spikes, and Kano gets his neck snapped. That's the worst. But
Yeah,
there's some like surprisingly violent, like the neck snapping. There's some
yeah.
surprisingly violent stuff from this. It's not entirely toothless.
Hang on, I need to see how we're doing on time. 49:40. Ooh, we need
Yeah,
to.
we got this. Whatever.
Yeah,
We're at the home stretch anyways.
yeah,
So
we're getting there.
Art
What?
dies.
Art gets killed. Next fight is Johnny and Goro.
Yeah, and I guess Goro and kills every single remaining
Other Earth
fighter.
Realm defender.
You see
Yeah,
you see a montage of them getting beat down into the
Yeah,
ground.
they get thrown on rocks, and that's to indicate that they lost.
What happened to the other, 20 other guys?
I guess they got scared and went home.
I guess, but then it's Johnny versus Goro.
Yeah, and I will say, during this fight, despite a lot of the movie's failings, I will say the soundtrack is pretty on point for the whole
I was
movie.
gonna save that for the end, but yeah, the sound, some of it's a bit, you know, uh, 90s action movie
Yeah, obviously.
generic, but like it's not bad surprisingly.
Yeah, it is pretty good. That is one thing that holds up pretty
The
good to this
song that they
day.
play during the Scorpion fight's pretty in touch with the action. It's pretty bumping.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
And I guess I'll save the song they use at the end for later, but um so yeah, Johnny versus Goro literally starts off with a nut punch.
Signature move.
Sigma move, real Chad stuff. Punches him right in the nuts. And you see it does a zoom in, Goro's eyes dilate, and he's like, it plays like a whoa cartoon sound
Yeah,
effect, and
and
he's just holding it
he
like
groans for like
oh,
5 minutes uninterrupted.
and then Johnny just runs away.
Yeah, he's and that set where they're fighting when it transitions to outside, like over the
That's
cliff,
not good.
it looks very odd. At one
It,
point, if you look, you can see like the seam where it's cutting from like
a
the
white
actual
scene,
set.
yeah.
Yeah, that goes down, and then the rest of the cliff and everything is clearly green screened, and it's got the bad like clipping in it.
Yeah, and then Johnny just punches Goro off a cliff, and he says his signature classic Johnny Cage line because Goro earlier broke his glasses.
Yeah, those were $200 glasses, asshole.
It's 500 actually.
Oh,
Fake Johnny Cage fan.
sorry.
Liu Kang fans, man.
Yeah,
They don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, Goro dies. He
Yeah,
goes out like
Goro's
a limp.
dead. It was Shang Tsung's champion, so that would mean that the Earth realm is safe, or so we
But
think.
no. Shang Tsung just says, "Well, I'm gonna kidnap Sonya and bye."
Yeah,
And then
bye. I'm out of here.
he opens up a portal to go to Outworld, to his hometown.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you stay so when because they go there right after Johnny and Liu Kang. They go there immediately after. Raiden's just like, they don't allow smoking in Outworld.
Yeah. So he
I
doesn't
can't
go. He
go.
stays behind.
My powers are useless there.
Yeah. Non-smoking rooms only.
My powers derived from Newports. They'll be useless there.
Yeah.
I don't really know if they explain how they get there. I guess Raiden opens a portal, but
Raiden opens a portal, or they run through a portal or something.
yeah, they immediately go there. Stakes are high. I think Katana's officially joined the posse now.
Yeah, she's part of the team. She's part of the boys.
Oh no, wait, we left out the Sub-Zero fight.
Oh, you're
Oh
right.
well, anyways, it's over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And that we missed out on the Katana fight. We're amateur hour.
What about the reptile fight?
It's coming up later.
Okay.
But okay, backtrack it a second.
Yeah.
Liu Kang and Katana have a cat fight
Yeah.
on the Far Cry 3 beach, and she's like, use water. Liu Kang's like, huh?
Yeah, what did you say?
And then Sub-Zero's back in the movie. Liu Kang fights Sub-Zero. This fight's almost good. Like, it starts off good, and then it just ends way too quickly.
Yeah, it's really close. It's almost.
It's so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Like, it starts off with the good, like, choreography. They're just punching each other and doing the flips, doing the kicks. And then Scorpion's about to do like a spirit bomb. And Liu Kang just throws a bucket of water at him, and it makes an icicle and impales him on his own petard, if you will.
Yeah.
What a goober. and then the Goro fight happens, and then they go to Outworld. And I think they said this is supposed to be Edenia, which is Katana's city. I don't. It looks funny. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
it doesn't look right.
I mean, I get that it was conquered, and this is, Shao Kahn conquering it, but why does it look like? What's the point exactly?
Yeah, I think they just needed
Just
like
demolish it.
they just needed like an easy set piece that they could go to.
And there's people there, but there's still nobody there.
Yeah, it's
It's just a slum.
it's a ghetto.
Yeah.
It's where Katana grew up, man.
Some Earth roamers here, huh? What you doing down
Yeah.
here? But Reptile followed them through there, and CGI is still bad because Liu Kang grabs him, and it's obvious they just told him,
Grab air.
clench your fist and like shake the air. We'll put him in post.
Yeah, it does.
And then the weirdest part in the movie happens where Reptile gets thrown into a dead body, and then worms take control of him, and then it makes human Reptile.
Yeah, that. And then at the end, when he's beaten, he turns into worms again.
Yeah, that fight's really good though. Reptile gets his back busted on a bench.
That is a good fight, except for when Liu Kang does the bicycle kick. Yeah, that looks awful. I don't like that.
Maybe if they sped it up.
Yeah, it's too slow.
Editing.
Yeah, it's not fast enough. He's like
'Cause I think
barely
they slow it down.
yeah, and he's like barely moving his
Basically
feet.
normal. I think if they just like slow down they wind it up, and then they just do like a long take of it sped up, and it just look a lot better. But it's just too slow.
Yeah, too slow. And also that fight, I just think that fight's kind of pointless. They just kind of needed it in there to make Reptile be a character.
Yes, but you got to throw in Reptile. He's the best.
Obviously.
And Reptile gets kicked through a wall, and then the body dies again, and then he steps on Reptile, and then he's worms and roaches and
all kinds of other creepy crawlies.
Then they go into the big tower that Shang Tsung is hiding out in.
Yes.
And Shang Tsung has got Sonya like chained up, and he's like, "You're going to be my wife."
Yeah, Shang Tsung's thing with Sonya Blade is very weird in this movie.
I think he said he was gonna offer her to Shao Kahn, but
Shao Kahn's not in the movie.
He also seems very personally invested.
Yeah,
he
wants a piece. He's
being very playful.
Yeah, he wants a girlfriend.
And they all show Lou.
Yep, our heroes
Johnny,
show up to rescue Sonya.
They found their dirty robes to blend in with the other monks. And then they're just like, I'm Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, I challenge you to Mortal Kombat. He's like, okay.
Yeah, all right.
He throws off the jacket and his funny little vest. When I first saw this, I didn't think this fight was really... It's underwhelming because, Shang Tsung's a sorcerer, and that's really the problem with this whole movie. It's really just a bunch of punching. Nobody has.
They don't have any. Yeah, they don't have any powers. They just all, to me, feel like just like fighters. Yeah, like Shang Tsung
uses his spear a couple times.
Shang Tsung's whole thing is like he is like spirit, like soul powers, and Liu Kang
can shoot fireballs.
And so can Liu Kang. Liu Kang has fire powers, like.
And neither of them use it.
Neither of them, yeah, no. And then
the most that Shang Tsung does is after they tussle for a bit, he draws power from the souls he has, and he resurrects a bunch
of random guys and a samurai to fight for him.
And a samurai. It's like 9 of these guys are dressed the exact same, and then you just have a samurai,
They were at the prop
a
shop and they
short,
were
stubby samurai.
yeah, they were at the prop shop and saw a cool suit of samurai armor and were like, all right, putting him in the movie.
Yeah, that little tussle up isn't so bad either. It's again just weird. It's weird, but at least it's over pretty quick. Liu Kang does stop a sword with his foot.
Yes, which is pretty interesting. And then
That classic Asian Chad move.
yeah, and then
And then I guess somewhere in the fight, Shang Tsung just tiptoed up his stairs, and he's just standing looking down. He's like, Liu Kang, I'm up
yeah,
here.
and then Liu Kang watches Shang Tsung clearly like transform into his brother, and then they have a little conversation. And I really don't know what the movie's trying to infer, if like Liu Kang wasn't supposed to see him and like thinks it's his brother, or if he's just like talking to Shang Tsung like he's his brother to try to trick him. I
I
don't
mean,
really
I
know.
guess it would throw you off either way if your dead brother just started
Just suddenly
talking to you.
appeared. Yeah, I guess that would try to kind of mess you up a little bit.
From the way he's talking, I don't think he's fooled because he's like, "You're not my brother.
Right.
My brother's dead." And he's like, "I didn't kill my brother. I didn't set him off to do this. That was his own doing. It wasn't my fault." But he still takes way too long to do any punching. I guess he
Yeah,
doesn't want to punch his brother's
I
face. I don't
guess
know.
not. He feels bad.
And then they do a little more fighting. They do a little more wrestling, and Liu Kang tries to redeem Shang Tsung. He says, "Man, just stop. Just,
Yeah,
just,
he
just give up
appeal
the souls.
he
Just come on."
appeals to Shang Tsung's
To
humanity.
Shang Tsung's inner goodness,
Yeah, which he clearly
and
has.
he just says, "Never." And then Liu Kang gives him the beat down. It's like punch, 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 kick, kick. He even like kicks him in the stomach, and he does like the little like exaggerated jump up with your arms spread out, like ooh,
Yeah.
and he beats him up a little more, and then he doesn't do a flying dragon kick or a bicycle kick or a dragon a fireball or anything. He just does like a double fist to the chest, and he knocks Shang Tsung off his little podium into a bed of spikes, and Shang Tsung dies, unfortunately.
Yeah. Best character in the movie goes down
Rest
like
in
an
peace.
absolute boss.
I say that's one of the better fights too.
Yeah.
Underwhelming, but not bad.
But
And then Shang Tsung shrivels up, and he's a because all the souls are being released, and it's cheesy, but I think this is one of the best parts in the movie
I'd go with
when
that.
all the souls are being released. It's uh, like a blue aura, a blue sky beam, and his brother, Liu Kang's brother, pops out. He's like, "I saw your fight, man. That was
Yeah, that was
dope,
epic, dude. I put
dude.
that on.
I knew you'd come. That was awesome."
Yeah, I'm putting that on my story.
Yeah, this is going on. This is going on. Star.
Yeah, definitely.
That was epic. But uh, speaking of the soundtrack from earlier, I looked up the song that was playing during the scene because I think that really made the scene. That's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
That's Halcyon On and On by Orbital. That was pretty good. That was also at the end of Mean Girls for some reason. I don't know why. Weird. But anyways, he's like, it cuts to Katana and Johnny Cage and Sonya, who were just, sitting in the back seat just watching that whole fight.
Yep, just chilling, not helping at all.
And then Liu Kang says, "Let's go home."
Yeah,
Cuts
let's get
back
out of here.
to the monastery, and I guess school just got out or something because all these kids are running around,
Yeah, they got a lot of extras for this one.
and Raiden's just standing there in the middle of the one lone white guy dressed in entirely white and gray,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Ow, ow, 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 what took you so long?" I knew you guys would do it. And Liu Kang's like, I guess you always knew we win. Rain's like, I didn't have a clue. Ha ha ha. You guys did great out
Yeah, you
there.
guys are awesome.
And it looks like,
And
it's
the
gonna be a happy
yeah, the
ending.
world's finally at peace. They've won.
Sky darkens, thundering around. Liu Kang turns to Raiden. What's that? Raiden gets in serious mode. He says, "The Emperor," and the the big temple explodes. Shao Kahn, baby.
Dun dun. Cliffhanger ending.
He looks funny. Is all I want to say.
Yeah, that's
It's
definitely.
like it's like his mask and his face are this the same. Because if you look at his face, it's like scarred, but it's also got some of the markings that his mask would have, like the teeth and like the eye
Yeah.
holes. But the horns and the side armor pieces are still there. And he's voiced by Frank Welker, who's Scooby Doo and the bad guy from Inspector Gadget.
I didn't know that.
True story.
Interesting.
And Raiden lets out his famous catchphrase one more time. I don't think so. Boom. Cut
Yeah.
to the Mortal Kombat theme song.
And the
Roll
end
credits.
of the movie.
So, what a thriller.
Yeah.
What a brisk 90-minute thriller. It was awesome.
What's your final score that you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I would say, just because I do like Mortal Kombat, like, you cannot watch this as a normal movie.
No, you have to watch it
You
in the
have to go into this
context.
with basic knowledge of the games.
Yeah, you have to watch it in the context of you're a Mortal Kombat fan. Like an average.
Objectively, I would say it's like a 5 straight.
Yeah.
But knowing about Mortal Kombat, I would say it's at least a 7.5.
Okay.
It's so, it like barely follows the plot of the actual games, but it's just enough to keep you in there.
Yeah. I give it a.
It's still camp fun.
Yeah. I give it a 6.2 out of 10.
You gotta bring in the decimals, don't you?
6.2. Yes, sir. Do you have any
Gotta bring it.
do you have any trivia or fun facts before we wrap it up?
Katana's actress reminds me of Gal Gadot.
Okay.
Fun fact.
I don't have any fun facts or trivia for this one, unfortunately.
I got a couple. Kano in Mortal Kombat 1 was originally Japanese American and bald.
That is interesting.
But this movie is what marked the turn for Kano to make him Australian. I don't know where the Australian voice came from, because as I've told you before, the actor was not Australian.
Yeah.
But I guess he just put on an accent and they said,
That
that's
sounds good to
go
me.
with that.
Yep.
So Kano's just Australian from this. And I guess the only other real thing I can say is that Christopher Lambert was, I think he helped, not with the funding or the budget, but like he helped with the post funding, I guess, or the post production. He helped fly people out to do reshoots with his own money, so he was pretty cool in this.
He's a good guy.
I can very easily tell why he didn't want to spoil it by going in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah.
Which is the much better movie, of course.
Oh, clearly.
But I guess one more fact: the Mortal Kombat theme song, which everyone knows, was like the first like electronic dance single to chart like big time on the mainstream Billboard. Like everybody
like the
knew that.
top 100 sort of
Yeah.
thing. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know
Like
that.
not the alternative bill, like not the alternative charts or the dance charts, like
Yeah,
Billboard Hot 100. It
that's
was in the top 10, if not top 5 or number 1.
very cool.
So Mortal Kombat's cool. This movie's cool.
Well, I think that
Johnny Cage is cool.
I think that about wraps up this episode. Hopefully, on the next one we'll do the second one, and then we're planning on doing the reboot movie too. So that'll be
It's all
interesting.
downhill from
Yeah,
here,
it's all yeah. This is definitely the top, and then we're
which is
going
surprising,
yeah,
honestly.
and then we're going in.
You'd think they learned something.
Yeah, but they didn't learn from their mistakes in the first movie, and the second one is way worse. Just a heads up.
Yeah. So strange, because like the 2021 one follows, it barely follows the story, the lore either,
Yeah, it kind of makes
but
its
it's
own
still so
stuff.
much worse.
Yeah,
It's so much worse,
it's not as good as the first
in
one.
my opinion.
But yeah,
I guess that wraps it
I
up.
think that about wraps it up. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you later.